Alright, so I wanted to make this video to basically discuss an issue I had with the Simagic Alpha EVO wheelbase. It's not really an issue. It's something I had an issue with my Logitech base that drove me nuts. There was no way to really turn this setting off. You could dampen it with the mechanical dampener that's in the base, but in my opinion that was a very unnatural feeling. Let me show you what the issue was that drove me nuts, and that was worse on this base until I figured out, at least on the Simagic software, how to completely stop it from happening, which is something I could never do with Logitech. So if you're one of the people that uses this and experiences this when they're driving, now, how many of you out there have ever driven a car, a sports car of some kind, and let go of the wheel and the wheel immediately go? It doesn't happen. So jumping into the software right now, I set it to 100% for demonstration purposes, but wheel speed rotation in the Simagic software is what's doing this. If you set this setting to 0, now mind you, most games, by default, do not set this to 100%. There are presets in here that will bring it to up to like 50% that I've seen, but even 50% does it. It's just not as easy to make it happen. However, 0% is the only way I've seen to use this setting. I don't know why this exists. Now, people say this is good for drifting. I don't play a lot of drift games, so grain of salt there. Try it if you drift. Maybe I'm missing it, but let me show you what that looks like in-game with it set to 0. I don't know about you guys, but it operates like a steering wheel. If I try and jackknife the wheel, it recenters itself and goes straight again. That's what a car does in real life. This isn't just a Simagic thing. I just happened to find the fix in the software for the Simagic ones, but every wheelbase I've ever tried seems to make it go back and forth like that, and it drives me out of my mind because I've driven a lot of cars and they don't do that in real life. As far as the wheel centering itself, it does a great job without that setting. It's actually much more manageable. Watch me just do some basic driving. Watch the wheel. Centers itself. So the reason why I'm even making this video in the first place is because in the learning process of all of this ecosystem and every other ecosystem out there, other people talk about that setting like it's supposed to be on. I haven't found a reason for it to be on. All it does is kind of ruin the driving experience. It generates this almost fictional feeling of torque to make you have to do something when you drive, but the reality is it doesn't feel real. I've shown this off a couple times in streams, and I'm sure I will again in the future, but I figured I would just throw this video out there quick to kind of demonstrate what I mean by that oscillating feature that happens on like every wheelbase. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to fix it on your particular brand of wheelbase, but I can tell you on the Simagic one, that setting, wheel speed rotation, set that to 0, my driving experience is 100 times better. Now, obviously, opinions vary. People might like that oscillating, but I can just tell you that from my driving experience, I've never ever had that happen in real life with another car, where they just oscillate back and forth like that. They recenter themselves, sometimes slower than others, but for the most part, the most a wheel does is come back to center and then just go straight again. The car naturally wants to drive straight. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe. If you wildly disagree with me, complain about it in my next stream. Until then, I'll see you around.
Thank you.